things are going fine. And thank you for the prayers, and thank you for the supporting. And welcome back to my video. And even now, I want to talk about some special Bible verse to every one of us. And this question or this Bible verse, it's very profound, and I think this is all Bible verse that everyone knows, but I just wanted to bring some of the fact from this verse. It might be new, it might be old, doesn't matter. So let's go and study. From the first book of the Bible, that is Genesis, chapter 3, verse 13. Here, it says like this. I will read for all of us. I will read from the ASV version, okay? And the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" The woman said, "The servant deceived me, and I ate." And this verse, it's narrative about the fall of human being. And this Genesis chapter 3, it's talking about, describe the fall of humanity. Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. After they committed the sin, the response was different. And here, Genesis chapter 3, verse 13, Eve is questioned by God about her action that he had did, and her response revealed her perspective or what happened. So here, God asked the question to Eve, right? And God confronted her with the question to reflect on her action. God invited her to reflect on her action. So this is amazing verse, and this is the word that I really like, the reflection of her action. And it shows the important lesson and the accountability even in our life. Eve was not condemned outright, but it is given the opportunity to acknowledge her wrongdoing. It's not, God did not reject, but God is teaching the lesson to Eve that she have to acknowledge what she was did, the wrongdoing. In the same way, sometimes God will ask, "What is this? What's going on?" Because we make the mistake. So sometimes God can ask to us. So we have to acknowledge, "Lord, I did this one. I'm sorry. It was my fault." We have to be accountable to God, and we have to carry our burden to God. Yep. And here, interesting thing, I think, in our life, that's the same thing, right? Eve responded in this way. She started to complain about the servant, and she said like this. The Bible verse is like this: "The servant deceived me, and I ate." So she started to complain about her mistake through the servant, right? So it shows that even in our life, revealed to attempt our sin and our mistake to blame, shifting to one another. And this is a human tendency. I think everyone, we have this one. So from this lesson, from this verse, in this specific the phrase that we learned, that it's a reminder for all of us to take responsibility for our choice, right? We should not blame one another, but we have to take the responsibility. So here, Eve responds They just the blaming one another or the external circumstances does not change the fact that we are responsible for our actions. You got the point, right? Even if she did the mistake and she was complaining, but the responsible should be her, not the servant. I think you got the idea here. And by the way, if you're not clear in this teaching or discussion, please let me know in the comments, okay? So that I will explain more, because I don't want to make long videos. Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm not explaining all the, word by word, okay? So here, listen carefully. As a human, we do the mistake, right? But before we do the mistake, we know that, right? And it's okay, sometimes we do mistake, but when we do mistake, we should not blame one another. But as a human tendency, we used to make excuses. So because of this guy, because of my friend, or because of the church member, among the church, inside the church as well, we are complaining one another. Because of my pastor, because of my youth pastor, we just started to complain one another. But before we do the mistake, we know that the responsibility, right? So it shows that it's accountable to God, not a human being, right? And we should be responsible in our choices instead of blaming one another, right? One thing, now here, don't talk about God, okay? Here, be honest yourself. Be honest yourself. And when you're honest yourself, you are respecting the God grace, right? And when you are honest yourself, you are giving priority to God, right? So honor yourself and respect yourself. And everyone does mistake, it's fine. But we have to learn something from our mistake. Use our mistake as an opportunity to grow and become the better version of you and me, or the better person of you and me. Don't make excuses. Everyone does the mistake, but those mistakes can learn the lessons and be a better person in the future, right? So here, I'll just wind up here. And this Genesis chapter 3 verse 13 teaches the important lesson to every one of us, to accountability and honesty. When we take responsibility for our actions, remember that we are honoring our God. We are honoring our living God. And when we honor our living God, remember that we are growing in our faith. Yeah? Anyway, thank you so much for watching the videos, and I hope that you learned something. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. See you in the next video.